Mineral King Road going up to our cabin for the first time since last August when we had to flee because of the very, very dangerous forest fire that really was progressed to almost 1 mile away from our home. So we're interested to see how the fire has impacted the landscape here as we head up, but also what's happened to our cabin. We don't know what it looks like on the outside or the inside. We know that it didn't burn down. We've seen pictures of it, but we didn't close it for the winter. We don't know if the pipes have burst. We don't know what kind of soot might be inside. It's going to be a big adventure. Here's the first sign of the fire from last year. You can see all of the sort of orange pieces here. That is all where the fire was, and those are all burned trees and bushes. Also, you can see where the firefighters cleared the land, I guess in the hopes of stopping the fire. And of course they did stop the fire, because you can see there's a little farm right here, or a little residence right here that is unscathed. And that's probably thanks to the incredible work of those firefighters. So we're now in the middle of the burn area that I just showed you. So here we have all of these trees that were part of the fire, and also here where it jumped the road. So we have more burn scars over here. Here you can see where the fire came down the hillside. All of that devastation there, and then again jumped the road here. But what else do you see? Look at, nature is so amazing. It's greening up. Here we are at the gate. The Mineral King Road is closed to visitors until Memorial Day, and we are a month away from that. But because we are cabin owners, we have a key to the gate, and so we're able to get up and check on our cabin. But you can see down the hill here, lots and lots of burned trees. Although I am still surprised by the amount of green that has come back. Look at this landscape. Very little green coming back here. Really burnt to the ground. Here you can see how many miles the fire crossed the road. This is probably 2 miles, and there is burn on both sides. This used to be covered in brush and chaparral, and it's just 100% gone. Plus, the sides of the road used to have lots of lush vegetation, and you can see they're all denuded. A lot of the trees have these reddish pink trunks, and that's the fire retardant. We're now about 4 miles from our cabin, and here's a particularly heavily burned area. It's really quite shocking. And here you see Sawtooth. It is the white peak over the hill. It is the crown jewel vista here in the Sequoias.
So this is Sawtooth Peak. It's part of the Great Western Divide in the Sierra Nevadas. The peak is 12,324 feet high, and it is shale and decomposed granite. So when you are hiking up to the top, you take 1 step forward and you slide 2 steps back. So if you think about that, it's almost impossible to get to the top. And from the top you can see 3 or 4 lakes. I've forgotten how many, but it's quite a view.
But Mr. Hubble, have you been to the top of Sawtooth?
Yes, I have.
Yes, you have.
Here's an even better picture of Sawtooth.
So here you can see the compounding effect of the fire and the previous tree die-off. There were a lot of dead trees in here from the bark beetle, and they had no defense when the fire came through. They were already tinder dry, and so they just burned completely.
Even the signs burned.
Here we are 2.5 miles from the cabin, and every tree is burned. Home again, jiggity jig. Look who's here to greet us, Andy Bear. Andy Bear made it through the fire and through the rain. So glad to be here. And so far, everything is just gorgeous. P.S. I'm here in time to see the first daffodil bloom.
As we are heading down, it's about 10:30 in the morning, and the devastation looks worse than it did coming up in the evening light. We came up around between 5 and 6 p.m., but the devastation looks even worse in the morning sun. Here you can see that the fire burned the brush just completely away. It's burnt down to the dirt. It must have been extraordinarily hot to do that. And it must have burned for a long time to burn so completely.